Hi everybody, it is April and I am in my craft room, and today we're going to make a log cabin quilt block with the Pioneer Woman. What could be a more appropriate pattern than the log cabin block with Pioneer Woman fabric? They have to go together, right? Log cabin, Pioneer Woman. Here's Oliver to welcome you to the craft room. That is what today's tutorial is going to be about, the log cabin block. I did a test, and this is the block. And although not perfect, I really like the way this came out. I did want a little wider strip, not sure, no, I know why, because I wanted my blocks to grow faster. The bigger the block, the faster the quilt. So I decided instead of going with 2.5-inch strips, I would go with a 3-inch strip. And this is what I came up with. I have the Pioneer Woman fabric on the one side, and then I have a coordinating fabric on the other. I like the look of the two different colors. That is going to be my theme. Now, it would be pretty boring to use the same fabric for the whole quilt. So this is what I'm going to do. I have the Pioneer Woman fabric. I went into my stash and I found some fabrics that I think coordinate with the Pioneer Woman fabrics that I have quite well. These 3 fabrics are from Bernitex. Evidently, I like Bernitex. This is my No Name fabric that I love from No Name. There's no name. My plan is to make a block using this on the one side, just like I did this, and using it with the fabrics that it coordinates with. So I would have a block that had, thank you for holding on to that, these 2 fabrics, these 2 fabrics, these 2 fabrics. And I will do the same with the other fabrics. I would have this fabric featured with this fabric. I was gonna say I wouldn't have this fabric with this fabric. I might change my mind. Looks kind of good together. And that way I will end up with lots of blocks. What I'm going to do is I will make all the blocks with all the different combinations and see how many blocks I have. And then from that point, determine if I just want to add borders or if I want to make one more of each block. It just depends on what size the quilt ends up being. And you know, this is kind of quilting on the fly, which I like to do. So first, let me show you what I am going to do as far as cutting the blocks and putting my log cabin block together. And then I will go off and I will make my blocks, and through the magic of editing, I will come back and it will seem like no time passed at all and show you what I end up with and then figure out what I'm going to do with it. I am going to cut a 3-inch strip, and I used about a 3-inch strip of the darker fabric in my block. And this will be 3 inches by width of fabric. I'm going to pull it, make sure it's straight. Now I take my red fabric, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. This is a little off, so I'll just trim a little bitty bit just to make sure it's straight. I'm going to line it up across this line so I'm not using this same 0 measurement on my mat all the time. Now it's straight. I'll do the same thing. I'll measure 3 inches and then we'll go to the sewing machine. I have my little area set up so that I don't have to get up and go iron or trim or anything. And if you see me set this down like this and not pick it up, yell at me. I've already kind of scorched my wool mat. I'm used to just setting my iron back down because of the aliso. That's not necessarily a good thing. The first thing that we want to do is I want to cut 2 pieces of my 3-inch strip by 3 inches because those are going to be the 2 pieces that start this whole process. This ruler is 3 inches. I am going to put my 2 strips on top of one another and cut 3 inches. The first thing I'll do is I will put these 2 blocks right sides together. Doesn't matter which side I sew it on because every side is 3 inches. So here I can press my block and I can say, okay, I want to do the dark first, and I will take this block and then right sides together. On the long side, I'm going to match up my strip. I'm not going to trim it yet. I'm just going to match it up. And essentially, you sew clockwise until it's as big as you want. So here I'm going to start with the dark. Bring over my piece. I want to press toward the strip. Then I will bring this over to my cutting mat, just like that. And I will line my ruler up with the edge that I want to trim. So I use what is existing of the block to trim what I just added. I've sewn the first dark strip and now I'm turning it clockwise, and here you see that I have my red. So when I have the red, I want to sew a red strip and a red strip. Then I will have the dark, so I want to sew a dark strip and a dark strip, and again red. So that's kind of a way that you can tell which strip you need to sew next. So I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to line up my red strip just like I did the dark strip, and I'm going to sew. I'm going to press towards the strip that I just added. Again, pressing, not ironing, because these can be stretched. And this little setup allows me to quickly put these blocks together. So I'm just going to line up along here. So now I have sewn 2 strips of the lighter color, and now I will start with the dark again. So I pull my dark fabric over, line it up, and sew. And we just continue this process for the whole block. I have now finished 2 of the blocks. They are square and they measure 15.5 by 15.5 ish. What I'm going to do is I am going to go off and finish each combination. I'll be right back. As you can see, I have finished 12 blocks. And I have a little conundrum. I don't know how to arrange them in a pleasing way. I don't like the way that I have them arranged now. So I'm going to work on the arrangement, and hopefully I'll be able to come up with something that I like. And then I have a couple more ideas for the borders. I think that's as good as that's going to get. So, hold that thought. What I've decided I'm going to do is put the solid colors as the border. I'm going to have a solid red on one side, a solid green on one side, a solid blue on one side, and a solid yellow on one side. So I think I need something to break up that colorful border in between the blocks and the border. So I'm thinking either black or white. So I want to audition and see which one I like better. All right, I think you need to see it from farther away. And this border is 1.5 inches, so it's little bitty. I just want a little bitty break in between the two. I'm thinking I'm going to like the white best because there is a whole lot of white. But let's step back and take a look. Yep, white. So I am going to cut 1.5 inch strips of this white. I'm going to put my blocks together. I'm going to add the white all the way around, and then a colorful border with each side being a different color. And I'll be back to show you how it turns out. My quilt top is complete. I'm very happy with the bright colors. I really like the different colored borders. Next time I do a log cabin, I don't know if I'm going to be quite as carefree. I will probably pay more attention to the pattern itself because there are so many things that you can do with a log cabin block. And when you put them together, there are really cool designs that you can make. If I had to do it over again, I might just make all of my blocks look like this one in the middle, where the log cabin is just made up of all the different fabrics that I cut into strips. Have a great day, eat some chocolate, and be kind to everyone. Until next time, bye. This is some soft chocolate. So that is what today's tutorial. Maybe we call Oliver high maintenance? Should we call you high maintenance? No eye boogers. No eye boogers on YouTube. These for... And then I'll see him in it. I can't talk. Blah, 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 blah.